It's been a year since the Adani Group emerged as the most preferred bidder for the redevelopment of Mumbai's Dharavi slum sprawl, but the project is yet to fully take off and is embroiled in a controversy over incentives that the state government is offering to the developer. The opposition, especially the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray and the Congress, has alleged that the Eknath Shinde-led Maharashtra government is giving undue incentives, is unduly favoring the Adani Group in the entire Dharavi redevelopment project, but the state government, which is the Eknath Shinde-led coalition comprising the Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Ajit Pawar-led Nationalist Congress Party, is saying that the norms by which incentives are being given to the developers were finalized during the reign of the Uddhav Thackeray-led Mahavikas Aghadi. The Mahavikas Aghadi government comprised the undivided Shiv Sena, undivided NCP and the Congress. So where does the truth lie, and what are these incentives that the Adani Group is getting for the Dharavi redevelopment project? We'll discuss all that in this episode of Mumbai Matters. What we've learned is that the government resolutions based on which incentives have been extended to the Adani Group were issued in 2018 and 2022. In 2018, it was a government of the BJP and the undivided Shiv Sena with Devendra Fadnavis as the chief minister, and in 2022 September, when the latest government resolution based on which the entire project is standing was issued, it was Chief Minister Eknath Shinde at the helm, and we had a government of the BJP and the Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena. The Ajit Pawar-led NCP joined the ruling coalition only in 2023 July. Significantly, these government resolutions were issued before the Adani Group won the bid to redevelop Dharavi, a fact that the conglomerate is now stressing on to refute allegations of favoritism. However, it must be noted that when the September 2022 GR was issued, the Adani Group's interest in the Dharavi redevelopment project was already formally known. More on that later. Meanwhile, the project is yet to start on the ground because the state government has not fully issued all notifications and circulars to implement the incentives promised in these government resolutions. A senior housing department official told me that there is one crucial notification that remains, the final notification of a draft, which is in fact the center of the controversy today. This is a notification about the transferable development rights in Mumbai. It's a little technical, but I'm going to try and break it down for you, so do stay with me over here. TDR, or transferable development rights, basically allows developers to transfer the unused development potential of a plot and use it elsewhere in zones of the city that are not fully developed. The state government issued a draft notification on the TDR incentives as outlined in the 2022 GR on 7th November, inviting suggestions and objections within 1 month of the date of publication of the notice. It is, however, yet to issue a final notification, as I've said earlier. Let's first start with understanding what is the Dharavi redevelopment project. It was first conceived in 2003 when a government of the Congress and the undivided Nationalist Congress Party was in power, and a formal notification for the project was issued in 2004. So now it's been almost 2 decades since the project was conceived. As per state government data, Dharavi is spread across 259 hectares, of which 173.9 hectares will be part of the redevelopment project. Of this, 147.4 hectares is estimated to be occupied by slums. With Dharavi being a very complex area comprising long stretches of multi-storied slums, standalone buildings, commercial establishments, industries and tanneries, the project has so far been a non-starter despite a few attempts by previous governments to tender it out. This made the state government take some measures to sweeten the deal for potential bidders and make the large redevelopment project more palatable. Based on the 2018 government resolution, the then Devendra Fadnavis-led government invited fresh bids for the project. Dubai's Seclink Technology Corporation emerged as the highest bidder for the project, followed by Adani Infrastructure. And this is where Adani Infrastructure's interest in the Dharavi redevelopment project became formally known, as I had said earlier. The tenders, however, had to be scrapped in 2020 October when the Thackeray-led MVA Mahavikas Aghadi government was in power. power, the tender was scrapped, saying that a 45-acre railway land parcel, which later became part of the project, was not considered in the tender process. The state government then invited fresh bids in 2022 October, and the Adani Group emerged as the most preferred bidder in November 2022. The company, however, got a formal letter of intent from the state government only in July this year. Now coming to the entire TDR controversy. One of the measures taken by the state government to make the project more favorable for the developer is to be able to use TDR, transferable development rights, without indexation, as per the State Urban Development Department's draft notification of 7th November. Now, what is indexation with regards to TDR? The value of TDR is usually indexed to the ready reckoner rate of the land, and the value of slum TDR is typically lower than other forms of TDR. Moreover, the usage of TDR is also indexed to the location of the receiving plot. This means by norms, the TDR is directed to areas that have more development potential and not to areas that are almost fully developed. Now, by suggesting that the Dharavi TDR can be used without the indexation provision, the state government has enabled two things. One, it has allowed to charge a higher rate for the TDR generated from the Dharavi redevelopment project than the ready reckoner rate of Dharavi. The state government has, however, capped the price of this TDR at 90% of the ready reckoner rate of the receiving plot. The other thing that the state government has done is to allow TDR to be used for the full quantum of buildable area on the receiving plot. This means even developed areas such as South and Central Mumbai can use the TDR in full. The state government has also made it mandatory for all developers to prioritize the TDR generated out of the Dharavi redevelopment project first. The developers will have to mandatorily buy 40% of the total TDR requirement from the special purpose vehicles set up for the Dharavi redevelopment project, as per state government officials. Now the opposition has alleged that doing away with indexation and making it mandatory for other developers to buy 40% of their TDR requirement from the Dharavi special purpose vehicle will bring the Adani Group a huge monetary advantage. Mumbai Congress President Varsha Gaikwad had last month slammed the government notification about TDR, the draft notification of 7th November, which came ahead of Diwali, as a Diwali gift to Adani Group. Bringing up the TDR issue again this month, Shiv Sena Uddhav Sahib Thackeray chief Uddhav Thackeray on Tuesday addressed a press conference questioning why the state government is letting the Adani Group create a TDR bank. He said, and I quote, "The TDR that will be generated there can be used across Mumbai. This TDR is going to be banked, and any developer implementing any project in Mumbai will have to buy 40% TDR from Adani. If you have to make such compulsions, why let Adani sell TDR? The government can form a company and do it." He said that this is not just about Dharavi, but it is a question about the entire Mumbai's future. Now, all of these relaxations around TDR for the Dharavi redevelopment project have caused a domino effect. Responding to the draft notification of the state government, developers' bodies such as MCHI, CREDAI and NAREDCO have written to the state government saying it will be feasible for prospective buyers to purchase Dharavi TDR only if it increases the permissible floor space index of their plot. Now, floor space index, or FSI, is the ratio of construction permissible on a given plot size. The development bodies have sought higher FSI and relaxation in certain premiums if they are mandated to buy TDR from the Dharavi project. Both developer bodies have proposed that if they have to mandatorily buy TDR from the Dharavi project, then they should be allowed to use an FSI of 3 for plots abutting roads that are 12 meter wide, and an FSI of up to 4 for plots abutting roads that are 18 meter wide. Currently, the FSI for plots abutting 18 meter wide roads is 3. NAREDCO has further suggested that the sale price of TDR should not exceed 75% of the ready reckoner rate of the receiving plot and not 90%, as the government has said. The Shinde government is insisting that it has not introduced any new condition in the Dharavi redevelopment project to favor any developer. Speaking to reporters in Nagpur on the eve of the Winter Legislative Assembly session on Wednesday, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said, and I quote, "The tender to which they are all objecting, all the conditions that were changed for that tender were changed by the Uddhav Thackeray government. All the terms and conditions are the ones created by the Uddhav Thackeray government. None of them have been created by the Shinde government. Now they are opposing it." Fadnavis said that the incumbent government has only brought in more transparency in the entire process by saying that from now onwards TDR will not be sold by the book and instead it will be sold on a dynamic open digital platform. Officials from the State Housing Department, however, say that the conditions in the tender awarded to the Adani Group were largely laid out in the 2018 GR when Devendra Fadnavis himself was the Chief Minister. The GR dated 5th November 2018 mentions that the government approves making a change in Mumbai's development control regulations for the special purpose vehicle formed for the Dharavi revamp project to use or sell TDR generated from the project anywhere in Mumbai, in the suburbs as well as in Mumbai city, which covers the southern and central parts of the city. Further, after the Shinde government took over, it offered a few more concessions for the project and decided to invite fresh bids. The state government issued another GR on 28 September 2022 saying, the GR said, keeping in mind the conditions that have arisen out of the COVID-19 pandemic and the stagnation in the real estate market, the state cabinet decided to make some improvements in the terms and conditions by including railway land of approximately 47.37 acres in the project and give some additional concessions for the project. It was this GR that decided to do away with the indexation of TDR generated from the Dharavi project. This government resolution also mandated that the Dharavi TDR be used on priority, making developers compulsorily buy 50% of their TDR requirement from the Dharavi project. Subsequently, the Urban Development Department reduced this to 40% as is evident from the draft notification published on 7 November. Following the Congress's allegations that the Shinde government is giving Adani a Diwali gift with relaxations in TDR usage, the Adani Group put out a statement in which it emphasized the 2018 and 2022 government resolutions to show that the decisions were taken much before the conglomerate entered the fray as a bidder and later as the lead developer. The statement said, in fact, a GR issued before the onset of the 2018 tendering process had a provision for the sale of TDR generated from the Dharavi redevelopment project across Mumbai. The GR introduced in September 2022 before the tendering process commenced introduced two vital changes. Importantly, these changes were available for due diligence to all bidders, Adani says, contrary to the claim that these policy changes are going to benefit a single entity. The final notification from the government has, in fact, capped the minimum usage of TDR in other projects at 40% instead of 50%, as mentioned in the September 2022 GR. The Adani Group in its statement further slammed the allegations of favoritism as a mischievous ploy to muddy the waters. That's all for today. We'll have to see how this situation plays out and whether this tender still stands, remains, and whether Dharavi is eventually redeveloped as the plan was 20 years ago. Thank you for watching Mumbai Matters. This is Mansi Fadke, Deputy Editor with ThePrint, signing off.